Good afternoon. It's day 71, and though you can't see it right now, I'm in my happy place. I'm at the beach. Got here a couple of hours ago, and there was a storm rolled in pretty quickly, so everybody's kind of come inside and is waiting out the rain. But I'm going to be hanging out for the next few days with one of my sisters and some of her family, and am so looking forward to the time away. And while I was driving here this morning, I was thinking about the people that were going to be here, and two of them are my great nieces. And for the last 2 or 3 years, I've had occasions from time to time to pick them up from school. And a couple of years ago, when I would get to do that during my Christmas break from school, or if I got home before they got out of school at the end of May, I would pick them up, and my question used to be when they would get in the car, how was your day? And interestingly enough, I always got the same response. It was fine, it was good, it was terrible. One word, no conversation. And a couple of years ago, I started exploring the idea of asking better questions. And I've discovered a much better question to ask if you actually want conversation. I heard a psychologist share this, something he learned interacting with his own children, because he would sit down at the dinner table and ask, how was your day? And he got one-word responses. So he learned to ask something that's actually not a question, but it's just a different way to approach it. And I adopted it with my nieces, and it is, tell me about your day. And I remember the first time I tried that, being absolutely awestruck that one question could make that much difference. Because they immediately took turns, and they immediately started telling me about their day. Where before it was fine, good, whatever, and then they would start talking between themselves, and I would be having to try to think of something to ask them to get them to engage. And as I've thought about that today, I thought, you know, there are times when I've walked into a retail establishment and the salesperson will say something like, can I help you? My answer is always no, I'm just looking. Or there might be a 5 to 10% chance that I would actually tell somebody what I was looking for. So it's a bad question. And the thing I have to wonder is, does the salesperson realize it's a bad question and doesn't know how to ask a better one? Or are they asking the question knowing what the response will be and knowing that it doesn't require anything of them? The other thing I thought of was a furniture store I walked into years ago. It was late, probably half hour, 45 minutes before they were going to be closing, and as far as I could tell, there were no other customers there. And I thought it was a good time of day to just go walk around. So I walked in the door, and 30 to 40 feet in front of the front door was this long counter. And standing in front of it were 8 staff people. And I'm assuming that for the most part, they were salespeople. And they were all eyes on me walking through the door. I took about 3 steps inside, stopped, looked at them, and turned and walked out, and never went back into that store. It wouldn't have mattered what question they asked me. But getting back to the idea of questions, what questions do you ask that you actually know you're not gonna get the kind of answer you want, but you haven't thought into it enough to go, you know what, that's really a bad question. I can find a better question to ask. If it's your personal relationships, just asking your mate, how was your day? Not gonna get you conversation. If you don't want conversation, that's fine, but don't say later they didn't communicate. because chances are you didn't ask the right thing to get them to communicate. If it's a work situation, a thorny problem you have, one thing I've learned is that the quality of the answers you get are directly related to the quality of the questions you ask. So if you're asking really bad questions, really lazy questions, you're going to continue to get the same answers. And what's the old adage? Insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and thinking you're going to get different results. So think about the questions you ask. Are you asking good questions about whatever's going on in life? And if you don't know how to ask a better question, there's plenty of help out there. There are books you can read, there are videos you can watch, there are classes you can take, sales training you can take. There are all kinds of things that you can do to learn, and it's a skill that will serve you in every area of life. Learn to ask better questions. So it's likely the rest of this week you're gonna see me in a ball cap and a ponytail. But for now, it's day 71 and I'm signing off. I'll see you tomorrow.